Now it's asking me to give this virtual machine a name. So I'm going to call it again Kali test, since I don't want to conflict with my other instance. You can choose a domain name. We don't need one for this setup, so we're just going to continue. And it's going to go through and ask you to set your root password. Asks me about my time zone. Typical operating system setups here. Nothing too surprising. And then the actual partitioning task will come along. So we can just pick defaults here. You don't have to get fancy. We can just use the entire disk. You can also set up logical volume manager, which if you think you're going to be resizing file systems later, you might want to look into that. You can set up an encrypted logical volume manager, which I've actually done for my instance. This is something to think about, because now every time your Kali instance boots up, you'll be prompted for a password. And that means that if you're doing sensitive pen testing work and you lose your laptop, or you lose your thumb drive where your Kali instance exists, at least it'll be encrypted and somebody can't get into that and discover sensitive information about your clients that you're doing pen testing for. So it's a good idea to think about encrypting it. Okay, so I'm just going to not going to select that. Actually, I will select it so you can see what that screen looks like. All right, we have our device here. All the files in one partition. That's a great setting for new users, as it says. And it asks if I want to change the layout of my disk. So I have to say yes to that. I'm going to close this other window here, since that's a little bit annoying. Okay. So now it's going to continue to build this system. It's going to take a little while to do the disk work, so we're going to pause. Okay, so now we have to choose our encryption password. Obviously, you would choose something much longer than 4 characters. You want to make sure it's a good passphrase, 32 characters, maybe longer. It says a minimum of 20 here, so that's a decent target to go for. So I'm going to say go ahead and use the weak passphrase, because this is just a demo that I'm doing. I'm not going to be actually using this system for my work. Now it will go ahead and build out the partition, and we get a final review of our settings, and we'll just click continue. So I'm going to write the changes to my disk. And now we'll install the operating system. This will take a little while, so we'll go ahead and pause again. Okay, so we're continuing with our installation. You can set up a network mirror if you want to get updates in a slightly different way. We don't really need that for our purposes right now, so we're going to go select no there. Now we'll try to get the package manager all updated, and we're nearly done with configuring our Kali pen testing instance. Now we can see that it's installing the bootloader, and it's got the bootloader partially installed, and it's asking me to install the configured loader for booting the system. So we'll go ahead and select continue here. And we're going to select the default disk that it created for us, dev SDA. And it goes ahead and installs the bootloader for us. And then we're finally getting to the end, and we can boot the Kali VM and get logged in for the first time. Okay, so the virtual machine will reboot itself, and as we can see, it's asking me for my encryption password, which I'll go ahead and enter. Now the boot process will continue, and I'm going to go to full screen mode. You might want to adjust your resolution a little bit to get a better fit for your particular screen. by default, the login for Kali is root, and the password is root backwards, which is tour, T-O-O-R. Oh, sorry, I chose a different password when I built the machine. Previously, that was the default password. I forgot that we get the option now to choose that. All right, so there is our desktop. We can see we've got the Iceweasel browser here. We've got a command shell, your file browser, Metasploit framework. We'll look at Armitage as I promised earlier, and we'll also do a bunch of work from the command line. Okay, so this concludes the setup of your initial setup of Kali. I'll be showing some other customizations and modifications as needed while we're doing our work later. But that's it for the Kali setup. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.